Hello world, what is going on guys? 𝗏𝗏𝗃 back with another video. Now in this video I'll be showing you guys how to hook your Raspberry Pi to an OLED display. Now I was trying to do this for a while. This is my second time recording this video because for whatever reason when I recorded the video the first time, my QuickTime player, which is my recorder, decided he doesn't want to record a screen and just the audio. So here we go, we're in the round 2 of this video sesh. Anyway, now in this video I'll be showing you guys how to hook your Raspberry Pi to an OLED display that you have. It should work for any and every OLED and any and every Raspberry Pi. So for context, I've got a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus and I've got a Raspberry Pi 4, and this is what I have. So I've got a little Pi tray that shows memory consumption, name of the host, the basic usual stuff that I use for my home lab. Now obviously it's changed a lot, so this is not what I have right now. I've changed the design a lot, but yeah, you know, rough concept of what I have. Now I did find a lot of guides online, pretty old. As of recording this video, a few things have changed, and I've updated my GitHub repo as well to reflect that changes, and I hope this video will help you guys a lot. And if it ends up helping you guys, please do consider subscribing, you know, like, comment, yada yada yada, all the usual stuff, because it helps me a lot. Anyway, let's get started with the video. Now I've shown you what I've got and what I'm trying to achieve. So when I looked online, it wasn't very clear about if it works with the PoE hat. So what's the PoE hat? So PoE hat is something that you put on top of your Raspberry Pi, and if you have a PoE switch, which is power over Ethernet, it should be able to power up your Raspberry Pi without having to, you know, connect it to the power. So I don't have multiple cables going to my Raspberry Pi. All I need is one cable, which is an Ethernet cable, and it does the job. Now that's what the PoE hat looks like, and that's what I have hooked up to my Raspberry Pi. Now it doesn't come by default like this. I needed some extra things. As you can see, this GPIO header pin looks unusually long. That's what we need, and there's a little thing in here that you need as well. So I ended up buying this. Also, what I needed was something extra, which is a jumper cable. Now as you can see in the background, they're not long enough. Yeah, that didn't work. I ended up buying like a big ones. Size does matter on this thing apparently. But yeah, those are jumper cables that you needed, and obviously you need an OLED screen that hooks up to the Pi. And if you're wondering what my Pi is sitting at, that little thing is a Raspberry Pi tray that allows me to take Raspberry Pi in and out without any problem. I 3D printed all that, so that helps a lot as well. Now let's get started. So the first thing I needed to do was get a SD card connected to my Raspberry Pi and open this thing called Raspberry Pi Imager that writes an image to your Raspberry Pi. Now if I go to my dashboard and type Raspberry Pi Imager, that's what I have. So choose device. So my device is Raspberry Pi 4, and a few of them are 3B Plus, but yeah. So as you can see, 4 supports all of these, B400, Compute 4 and 4S, and same with the 3 as well. If you've got 3, you can go down here, B, A plus, B plus, 3 plus, yeah, all that. If you have 5, even better, choose 5. So whatever your Raspberry Pi device is. Now the next thing is operating system, which I have is this one. By default I've got a Raspberry Pi over 64-bit because it plays nice with Raspberry Pi, no other reason. You can have Ubuntu, you can have any other thing you want. I think it's the exact same process. And you choose a storage to your SD card. Now after I'm done choosing everything, before hitting next, what I'd like to do is I do Command Shift and X, or Control Shift X if you're on Windows. But I am going to be setting my host name, username and password, so I don't have to change it. And I go one more step further. I go to services, I enable SSH so that I can SSH into the machine. But ideally you'd want to hook it up to your display. But if you have a display keyboard and mouse, you sort it out. But yeah, if you don't, then just enable SSH and make sure you tick that one and save this. Once you start it, it'll start writing it, and once it's complete, we'll take it out and we'll try and hook it up to our thing. So I'm using this image, so the stacking header goes on top of the Raspberry Pi like this, and you connect the power cable and we put the PoE hat. If you don't have a PoE hat, you don't need any of these, so just exactly the same thing, and you connect based on this diagram. Now on your little OLED screen you'll find something like this. It'll say GND, VCC, SEL and SDA. So I'll put this on the side. Alright, so based on this, you've got GND, VCC, SEL and SDA. So GND is a ground, so it would go here. SDA would go here, SEL would go here, and power can either go to 3 volt free or 5 volt power, doesn't matter. So you ideally do it here, here, here and here, or here, 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 and ground over here. Just double check your pin because you don't want to short circuit your screen, OLED screen. They're pretty fragile, so you better just double check it before hooking up and giving it a power. Just triple check. Alright, now that's sorted, we'll connect everything and power up our Raspberry Pi. Now at this stage you would power up your Pi with power, keyboard and mouse. For me personally, I'll just put it back on my tray and connect the power so that you can get the power and connect to the internet. Now the next step you'd do is you'd go to your computer and do Alt-A, and it should give you like a likely IP address of what you have, or you can go to your router and see what IP it is getting. But yeah, if you've got a keyboard and mouse, again, you don't have to worry about this. For the viewers who don't have keyboard and mouse, we'll SSH into it. You'll use a username and password that you used before, which mine I think was RPI admin, and I do that, and then I'll put an IP address. So that should allow me to SSH into the machine. So it's asking for a password, so I'll put a password in here, and we are in. So if I do ls, I've got all my file here. If I say who am I, okay, so this is who am I. I'm a RPI admin. What you want to do is you want to copy this who am I thing, or you can just copy this thing, RPI admin, doesn't matter. Put it aside because we might be needing this later. Or not might be, we will be using this later. So just do who am I on your machine. But yeah, if you're Windows, if you connect to the display, it's the exact same thing. You just log in using your username and password that you use, and when you go to your home screen, you just do this who am I, and yeah, whatever your username is, just copy that and put it aside because we will need this. Alright, so this is the time where you open my handy dandy Raspberry Pi guide, RPI OLED from my GitHub. You can go to github.com//RPI OLED, or I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can find it. Now it's got step-by-step guide on what to do. Display connected via I2C, which we have, I think, by now. And installation, this is what we're going to start with. Sudo raspberry config. So we go to our Raspberry Pi, we do this, and that should give us these options. And you can go to options, which is interface option. I need to fix that. I say interfacing option, but yeah, you need to go to interface option, and you go to what is this, I2C somewhere, yeah, there. So you go to I2C, you press enter on that one, and it'll say, would you like the ARM I2C interface to be enabled? You say yes, why not? Okay, and that's enabled, so that should allow you to access your Raspberry, your OLED connected to your Raspberry Pi, because it's connected via GPIO header. So now you've enabled that. Next thing you want to do is copy this ls dev I2C. So we're trying to see all the I2C devices in here. So our OLED will be part of one of the I2C devices. So as you can see, there's 2 of them, which is a good sign. If you get I2C 1, that's good enough. But if you don't see this, for whatever reason, if you don't see any of these, then that's bad news. Your Raspberry Pi is not looking at your OLED for whatever reason. So make sure your cable is connected properly. Just double check it. It's in the right place. It's getting proper power. You know, the usual. Just double check if you don't get anything in here. Now the second thing that you need to do now is run all these commands. So you can do this. I've already installed it on my computer. Like I said, it's my second time recording this video, so I'll already have them. But if you do that, yeah, I should install everything. Python 3 VNV is already installed. Like I said, it's already my second time installing this. And you change the source to that one, and you install this. Adafruit Circuit Python SSD Pillow and PSUtil, and I just interrupted it because I've already installed it, and it'll take a fair bit of time, you know, to install this thing. But yeah, just let it stay there for a while. So as soon as it's installed, next thing we need to do is we need to create a Python script. Now, create a Python script named stats.py. It can be anything, but it's better if you use stats.py because you don't have to change a lot of variables from what I have. You can just copy and paste it and call it a happy days. Alright, so we'll do sudo nano, or you don't need sudo if you're on a desktop or your home folder. You can say desktop, but yeah. So in order to find out where you are, you can do pwd, but default folder home/rpi admin, that's good enough for me. Again, remember we've copied that, or that, whatever, doesn't matter, but we've copied our home folder name. Alright, so right now RPI cluster not free. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do nano, and I'm going to be creating a file called stats.py. Again, this is not my first time creating it, so it will have everything in there. But okay, so if it says this, that means you don't have a write permission. You need to get out by pressing Control X on your keyboard, and you'll have to add sudo to it. Sudo nano stats.py. So now it's editable. You don't get any of that error. But usually the first time, if you're trying to run it, it doesn't tell you can't write it, because I must have created this folder using sudo, so that's why I created a problem. But if you don't, that's all good. It doesn't need a sudo permission, it's just a file. Alright. Anyway, so these are all the code, nothing dodgy in here as I can show you guys. All it's doing is pulling the resources, it's putting this under IP storage, CPU, and memory. Alright. For your case, what you would do in this scenario, because I've already got a file, let me get out and I'll show you. Let's say this was my stats.py file. Because I've already got there, I'm just going to add one extract. You guys don't have to do this, just use the stats.py. I'm just trying to show you what happens when you open a new one. So that's your stats.py file. Now over here, open this in a new tab, the stats.py, because that's the file that we need. And over here at the top, right next to the raw, it'll say copy raw file. So we'll copy that, we'll go back to this, we'll right click on this, and we'll do paste. Now your file has everything on them. Now as you can see, it says write out is this and O, that's a control. So you do Control O to write out. It's asking file name to write. I'll save it as a stats.py. Make sure you don't have extra S in there. I'm just doing it for demo. Alright, so just save it as a stats.py, press enter. So it'll say file name to write, you say stats.py, enter, you've written it out. Now you need to exit out of this, so you'll do Control X, and it'll get you out of there. So if I do ls on here, it'll show me I've got two files. So that's the file you're going to have. I've got this one, I'll just remove this. You guys don't follow this, because you don't have the extra file that I'm showing you guys. So this is a step you can completely ignore. You have to ignore. Remove, write, yeah, sure, why not? Alright, so if I do this, as you can see, this is what you should have, stats.py. Now if I do cat stats.py, it'll have all the file written in there. Make sure it has everything in there, not empty. Alright, so when you do cat and do that, if you don't see anything, you haven't written it properly, so you got to go in, edit the file, paste everything, Control O, Control X. Alright, so that's sorted out of the way. Next thing we want to do is, where did you go? This file. So now it says create a Python script, which we've completed. Step 4, create a systemd service. So we're creating a service that runs every time our Raspberry Pi restarts. We'll go inside this folder and we'll create a file. So create systemd files, create a file name OLED start the services in /etc systemd system file. So go to cd, which is change directory, to /etc, to systemd, and system. Alright, so over here we are creating a service called OLED start the service. So literally what we did before, we'll do sudo, this one requires sudo, so you have to do it, sudo nano or vim, whatever you like, OLED starts the service. So yours will be empty, mine's got all this. Where do I get this from? From OLED start the service. Now copy this file again, paste it over here, and so there's a few things you need to modify. So let's go from top to the bottom and I show you what I have. So OLED start service unit, that's what it is. After network target, that's what it is. Over service over here, you need to change user equals your username. Now remember, I told you to copy the name of your folder. That's what it is, your username or the user. So you got to copy, you got to paste that, you got to replace that with your user. Working directory is going to be home and then the exact same thing that you have. And then XX start, so this is going to delay the starts to sleep because sometimes it doesn't get an IP and you need to wait for a fair bit of time to do it, so we just added a sleep time for that one. Now XX start is going to be home/RPI admin, which is my user. You need to find your user, my bin python, and then same with this one as well. And that's pretty much it. So as soon as you replace all the your username bit, I'll just show you guys what you need to replace. So these 4 entries that needs to be updated with whatever you copied, whatever I asked you to copy and put it in a safe place before. If you forgot to do it, simply just get out. You just do change drive, enter, and it will be in a home folder, pwd, and you'll have this home/RPI admin. So RPI admin is what you need. Alright, let's go back to our file. Sudo nano. So I'm assuming you guys are still in the sudo nano, edit the system OLED stats service. Alright, so over here, now you're in this thing. You've changed all these 4 entries to your folder name. What you can do is Control O to write it out, file name to write this, Control X to get out of that, and you're pretty much done. Now we go back to our Raspberry Pi guide or the GitHub link, and now I've created a system. Now next thing you need to do is daemon reload. So we'll just restart the whole services to make sure that it takes place on the start of the boot and then this services are starting. Now you do sudo systemctl daemon reload. You can just copy and paste all these commands, and when you hit enter, it'll stop the service, it'll start the service, and yeah, it'll reload daemon the other way around, but yeah, pretty much that. Now that your system's running, you can check. So ideally your Raspberry Pi should already have a display by now. If not, you can copy this, you paste it, and then as you can see, it's running right now. If you see anything like invalid error, then you need to troubleshoot. You might not have put your file name correctly. Whatever things you need to change is not changed properly. Whatever your script is not working properly. So just check what's going on. So to get out of this, you can press Q on your keyboard, and you'll kick you out. And I can show you guys what my Raspberry Pi OLEDs look like right now, and hopefully everything's working. And there it is. So as you can see, my Raspberry Pi display has an OLED now activated and running. And yeah, that's it. So if you guys run into any trouble, do comment on the video. I'll try to help you guys with that one. But that's it for this video. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please do consider subscribing. Like I always said, stay safe, happy pen testing. I'll see you guys in another video.